right away today, in this short, slow flow, we're going to come on down to our back sides. And I'll wiggle a little bit here so you can see me. And we're going to come right into a knee to chest hug or pulling knees toward the armpits. So find a breath. Close the eyes. Maybe play with gently pointing your toes and then pressing through the heels before allowing the feet to completely relax. Hands are on the knees, on top of the knees, or heck, you could even have them snuggled behind the knees. Start to slow your exhales down. Decide if you want to hang out here in stillness, or does it feel nice to rock or sway from side to side? And if you're rocking or swaying from side to side, maybe the head trails along all loosey-goosey. And if you're finding stillness, we continue to breathe wherever we've landed. Just feeling into what you're working with today. How does it feel to be in this body of yours? What's your energy like? If you're rocking from side to side, eventually we're going to come back into stillness here in the center. Maybe one last little active squeeze of the knees toward the armpits or chest. Exhale, we're going to release the legs long. So as they go long, sorry, that was a vague cue. As they go long, the feet are going to reach for the sky. Yeah. So you can have gentle bent knees here. You don't have to have anything rigid. Point the toes here toward the sky. And then press through the heels, maybe spread toes wide. So point the toes to the sky. And then press through the heels, maybe spread toes wide. So find that just a couple more times. So my hands are mimicking my feet. Yours don't have to. You can have arms alongside the body. Your hands can even be resting on your torso. We'll involve the hands and arms here shortly. So find a nice full big breath. Fill your belly, fill your rib cage, fill your chest. Find an exhale that maybe ends with a little squeeze of the belly button toward the spine. And then eventually we'll let hands and arms start to float on up as we come into dead bug or beetle on its back. So start by reaching fingertips toward the sky. Let the shoulder blades lift up off of the earth. Head stays heavy on the earth. Keep the hands reaching, the arms reaching, but lower the shoulder blades back down. Settle them, snuggle them underneath you. Here we're going to spread fingers wide, let the palms face the sky. And then make gentle fists and roll the wrists out. You can even mimic with the feet here, rolling the ankles out. And then your next big breath in, we'll spread fingers real nice and wide, palms face the sky. Keep breathing here with your next exhale. Make fists with the hands, roll the wrists out, maybe ankles follow. Last few moments here like this. Going one way and then the other. And then we're going to spread fingers real nice and wide, palms face the sky one last time. This time we're really going to push the ceiling up, lifting those shoulder blades up off the earth. Head stays heavy on the ground. And then your next exhale, bend in your knees, plant your feet as wide as your mat. And take these hands of yours that are still pushing the sky away. Push, 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 push. And let the hands go loose and relaxed. Let the arms go loose and relaxed. Shoulder blades land and hands and arms float all the way down to the ground alongside the body. Feet are as wide as the mat. We're going to press into the feet, lift the hips up off of the floor, and find a modified bridge pose. One round of breath, maybe a squeeze of the glutes here at the top. Exhale, lowers hips back down. Walk feet about hip width apart now, closer together. Press into those feet once you settle here. Hips lift up off of the floor. Another modified bridge, just with a different position for the feet. Arms are heavy. Gaze is soft. Exhale, lowers hips down to the earth. Pick your favorite here. Do you like feet hip width apart, or do you like feet wider apart? We're going to find that again, but this time when we press into the feet, we lift the hips up off of the earth. That weight shifts to the shoulders, and you can pause here or involve the arms, let them float on up, and they'll land overhead, like nice and loosey-goosey, nothing rigid and striving. You just flop above your head, heavy on the earth. One more big breath here. Beautiful. Hands and arms start to float back up overhead and alongside the body. The hips lower back down to the earth, and everything lands. We find a breath. Perfect. Let's take the right knee, lift it up toward your right armpit, nab that right knee and snuggle it in. Left leg can stay bent or left leg can go long. Press through both heels. One inhale, one exhale. Slide your hands under or behind that right knee. Start to lengthen through that right leg. Maybe it needs to move a little further away from you. Maybe it feels nice to snuggle it closer. Offer one breath. Press into the back of the knee and allow it to bend and land the right foot on the earth. Bend in your left knee and keep it coming up so it doesn't land beside the right leg. It comes all the way up. You nab it and you find that squeeze of the left knee toward the left armpit. Right leg can stay where it is with the knee bent, or we can let that leg go long. One inhale here. Nice long exhale, release. Slide hands to behind that left knee. Let that left leg go long. Maybe straighten, maybe keep a gentle bend. All is well where you've landed. Trust me, we're just looking for some length here. And again, you can bring that leg like closer to you or even further away. Beautiful. Hands slide behind that knee if they're not there already. Press into that left knee. Let the left knee bend and eventually land the left foot on the ground. Right knee bends. Slide the right foot up next to the left foot. So both knees are bent here. Two ways of coming up. If we're having a good day where things feel good and strong in your core, we're going to rock our way up into a seated position. Or if we are letting our core heal for any reason, we're going to tip to the side to press our way up. So find your way up into a seated position. Land in Sukhasana, cross legs. Roll shoulders up, back and down. Let the elbows get heavy. Crown of the head reaches for the sky. Welcome yourself to this seated position. Fingertips drop down to the earth beside you. Let's take the right hand, right arm, reach it out all the way up. Reach it high to the sky. You can stay put reaching, or the bottom hand walks away and we sink on over and in. Don't hold your breath here. Allow it to flow. Inhale, up we come. You can lead with that hand. It starts to drop down and the second hand follows. So that left hand, left arm reaches up. First, finding that reach up, 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 up. Then deciding, do I want to tip on over? So slow flow today. We're going to take our time. Inhale, up we come. This hand that's reaching comes all the way down. Other arm does not follow. So both hands touch the earth. Sweep hands and arms out front all the way up and overhead. Hinge a little more forward from the hips. Exhale, lowers hands down to the ground in front of you. Shine through that heart center, front and back. Stay put or start to walk hands away. Maybe softening through the back side of the body. Maybe we keep gaze up here, or if it feels nice to drop the head down, we'll offer a breath into that foundation of yours, into your glutes, parts of you that are touching the earth. We also offer a breath to the softness here on the back side of the body and the front side. Inhale, lifts the gaze. Walk hands back toward you. Torso rises on up. Roll shoulders up, back, and down, and bring hands and arms wide. We'll start to swivel in the direction of the left, finding a gentle seated twist. So as we swivel, eventually left hand lands behind, maybe right hand on that left knee. Turn to gaze. Hear the sound of your own breathing. Gaze returns first, so keep your torso and arms where they are. Then we'll float then we'll float arms up, bring it around through center, find your second side. Take your time, snuggle in. Turn to gaze. There's a tendency to hold the breath here, so allow the breath to flow. Gaze returns first. We look forward. Hands and arms float up, back, round, through center. Flip the palms to the sky. Inhale, reach it up. Reach it high. Wiggle up out of that waist of yours. Exhale, reach down out to the sides, all the way down. Beautiful. Shoulder roll here. Let the head rock or sway from side to side. Gorgeous. Let's tip forward and find our way into tabletop. Onto all fours. Option to be on knuckles or fists. Feel into your foundation here. Rocking and swaying starts to happen, so we find that bit of rocking. And then also some swaying, so this side to side, back and forth. Eventually this evolves into a cat stretch. Head drops down. Rocking and swaying keep happening. Back rounds up to the sky. Eventually this morphs into that cow stretch. We lift the gaze. Broaden across the heart center. Rocking and swaying still happening. And now find a rhythm that works for you. Moving in and out of your cat and cow stretch. If the rocking and swaying isn't for you today, if it's irritating or just not what you're feeling, you can always keep it super simple with just the cat and cow. The next time you find yourself in a cat stretch, pause. Bring your knees a little wider apart. Sink your hips back toward your heels. Find a child's pose here. Head rests on the earth. Arms reach out overhead. Big breath for the shoulders, for the arms, maybe parts of your torso. Long exhales. Next inhale, slight lift of the head. Walking hands to the left. And eventually lowering, maybe even resting head here for side stretch in Balasana, child's pose. Slight lift of the head. Slide hands through the back, through center, and keep them going to the right this time. And snuggle in here. Hear the sound of your own breathing. Notice how exhales slow down. Notice how good it feels to have a really full, big inhale. Slide hands back to center. Rest the head for just a brief moment. Inhale, lift gaze. Back up through table. Adjust the knees perhaps a little closer. But we're going to sink hips back just a pinch. Take your right hand, right arm, reach it high to the sky. Exhale, we're going to swan dive this Right hand, right arm underneath the left lower right shoulder to the earth. Find thread the needle here. Left hand for support. If this is a position that just does not work for you, bringing yourself out and landing in a kneeling position. Same hand, same arm. Right hand, right arm reaches out, but it comes in front of your chest. And you can nab it with that left hand. And we hang out just like this. So I'll turn just so you can see. Okay? Maybe we're here down low. Maybe we're upright and kneeling, but either way, we find a nice big, big breath. If you're in thread the needle with that right shoulder on the earth, take your option to stay here, or take your hand, reach it high to the sky, that left hand, left arm. Bend in the elbow, maybe find a bit of a bind here, perhaps touching the right thigh, maybe. Losing the bind if it's happening, reach it high to the sky, left hand comes down to the earth, press yourself up. Through that left hand, drag that right hand, right arm, sink back a little bit, reach it high. Nice. Drop it down. Steady yourself here in the center, a little subtle cat-cow. So if you're kneeling, maybe land back down too. Find that bit of rocking and swaying. And a little bit of movement for the spine and the torso. And we'll find our second side, sink the hips back, reach that left hand, left arm high to the sky. Go ahead and dive it underneath the right. Snuggle the left shoulder down to the earth. So again, we've got this right hand for support. You can find the opposite for that kneeling position. If this shape just isn't working for you today, you can always adjust and readjust while you're here. You can play with lifting right hand, right arm high to the sky. You can play with bending in that right elbow, maybe reaching to touch that left thigh, finding your bind. And so many options to play with. You can even reach that right arm high to the sky and trace circles on the ceiling. Hear your breath. Perhaps find an ujjayi breath if thoughts are abundant today and annoying. Not all thoughts are bad. Some can stick around. Press into that right hand to bring yourself up, to release that left hand, left arm. Reach it high to the sky before landing it down. Settle in here, adjust knees if you need to. Nice big cat stretch, some rocking, some swaying. Find the opposite for a neutral spine, neutral table happen. From here, swivel on your left knee, and you're going to swivel the bottom of the left leg to the left. Right leg starts to go long, land that right foot. You might want to switch the left hand underneath the gaze, more underneath your face, before starting to lift this right hand, right arm, draw it alongside the body, the front of the body, and reach it high to the sky. Trace big circles here on the ceiling. You can even start to make the circle down to the earth and on the walls around you. Notice where it feels nice to have your gaze. Next time the circle happens, when it starts to lower, land that right hand down to the earth. We'll square things off, lose your kickstand, bring that right knee back down and in. And we'll head right into the second side if you like, or find a bit of transition. When you're ready, swivel on the right knee, right bottom of the leg sweeps to the right. Let's get long with the left leg. Land that foot, maybe adjust this right hand underneath the gaze, then turn. Trace that line along that right arm in front of the heart. Reach that left hand high to the sky. Noticing how it feels on this side to take this shape. You can draw those little circles on the ceiling, or circles become super big. You use the space around you. And breath continues to flow. Gaze is lifted, drop it down to the earth. So take that left hand, left arm, and bring it down to the earth as well. Square things off. Lose your kickstand. Bring your left knee down and in. Find your cat-cow here. Maybe even keeping knees and hips where they are and walking your hands to the left. Just offering a side stretch, perhaps. That bit of swaying, that bit of rocking. Find your second side, walk it through center, walk hands to the right. And once again, offer a breath to the side bodies, maybe offer that bit of rocking or swaying. Walk hands back through center. Sweep the bottoms of the legs to the side, and we're going to find our way into a seated position. But it's a seated position that's going to allow us to come back down onto our back side of the body. Just like we begin, and that bit of a knee to chest hug. This time we're going to take fingertips to the knees and trace the knees in a circle and offer a gentle massage to the lower back. Making sure you've gone both ways. Switch it up if you haven't. Coming into stillness. Keep the knees bent. Land your hands down on the ground. Your hands. Wow. Wow. Wow, talking is not my thing today, hey? Feet land on the ground, if you haven't figured that out already, and the knees are swaying from side to side. Sticking with this, you can even walk the feet a little wider apart as the knees sway from side to side, resting hands on the torso or alongside the body, or we're going to let the hands and arms float overhead. Generous bend in the elbows as they snuggle into the earth above your head, and we continue with the rocking and swaying of the knees from side to side. Really being audible, is that the word? With your breath. Making sounds with your breath. Next time, knees come back up through center, pause there. Hands and arms float back overhead and alongside the body. We'll pick up your right foot and stack it on the left thigh. Let your right knee drop open. So we're finding a figure four here. You can keep left foot on the earth, or left foot can begin to lift up, thus bringing right leg a little closer to you. You can play with spreading toes if you like, or you can keep feet nice and loosey-goosey here as we offer a breath into the right glutes, right hip, right thigh. Maybe you're feeling it in that whole right leg. Exhale, lowers that left foot down to the earth. If it's lifted, untuck that right leg. Knees sway again from side to side, just once or twice this time. When they come back up through center, find your second side. We lift that left foot up off the earth, stack it on the right thigh. Let that right knee drop to the side. Open up that left hip. Did I just say right knee? Oh my God. I hope you have a sense of humor today if you're watching this. Lift your right foot if you like to bring left leg a little closer to you. Once again, deciding like, oh, is this side any different than the first? Yes is my answer. Ooh, I didn't realize how tight this side was for me. You can spread toes wide again, or let feet be all nice and loosey-goosey. Make sound with your breath. Exhale, lowers right foot if it's lifted. Untuck this left leg. When both feet have landed, let the knees rock or sway from side to side. And knowing that we're headed toward a reclined twist, if you just simply want to let your knees fall to a side, then let that happen and hang out and let this be your twist. Or we're going to bring these up to center, cross the right leg over the left. I like to shimmy my hips a little more to the right before the knees fall to the left. But play with it as you sink on in into your twist, whether it's that first version we talked about, with the knees simply landing to a side, or this twisted route. Continue to make sound with your breath, even if it's subtle, even if it's like super loud. Maybe it's somewhere in between. Notice where you're tensing, and can you relax there for these last few moments on this side? Like, are you tensing in your inner thighs? Do you tense like in your torso, your neck, your face? Can you let your next exhale offer a bit of let go, a bit of release? Beautiful. Nice and easy. Bring your gaze back to the ceiling if it's not there. Bring your knees back up. Maybe lead with that top leg, like bringing it up first and crossing the legs if you need to. Adjust and find your center. Knees can sway from side to side, and once again, you can commit to just letting them drop, this time to the opposite side and hanging out there, or crossing the left leg over the right. Maybe a slight shuffle of the hips to the left as we continue on over to the right. Knees fall, maybe gaze turns. Make sound with your breath. I know, I'm like a broken record today, but just those little reminders, like lose the inhibitions. Don't be shy about it and just see where it takes you when you start to make sound with the breath. It can be subtle. It can be loud. Explore for these last few moments on this side, and with that breath exploration, also let go if you're tensing anywhere. Really like melt into this shape. Gaze returns to the ceiling. Start to bring yourself up. Lead with that top leg. Shimmy and shuffle your way into the center and let the soles of the feet come together. Knees fall apart. We come into butterfly legs here. Hands can rest gently over your womb space if you're comfortable doing that, or you can rest your hands and arms wherever they want to land naturally. Close the eyes. Find a comfy spot for that head to rest. If you just so happen to have props around, maybe shove a couple of bolsters or cushions or pillows underneath each leg, underneath each knee or thigh. So just keeping it super simple today. Super slow, super simple. Allowing yourself to breathe how it's natural for you in this moment. No need to force anything. Just sink into what it is to be you right now in this moment. No judgment if you're feeling cranky, no judgment if you're feeling really good, no judgment if you're somewhere in between. When I say no judgment, I mean where you're at right now is fine. It's perfect. It just is. So be the witness to that. Just simply observe. Because how we are right now is fleeting. We're always changing and evolving. So if you have lots of time today or in this moment, you can turn the video off if you're watching the replay, turn the video off if you're watching the live. Return to this space right here, find a shape that works for you, and give yourself this gift of stillness and breath. If you need to move on, very gently slide your hands underneath your thighs, kind of close to your glutes, and guide your legs a little closer together. You might need to widen the feet as this happens. Eventually, feet are wide enough so the knees can knock against each other, and we pause for a brief moment. Let the knees separate here, not too much, but wiggle the feet closer together. And eventually we're going to let the knees fall all the way to the side, and we're going to follow along. So we roll or tip to a side. Top hand, slow motion, presses you up. Find your way into Sukhasana. Place your hands in Anjali Mudra, that prayer position. Bring your thumbs up to your third eye, that spot between your eyebrows. We'll greet each other here, quietly or silently saying Namaste. Namaste. Okay, I'm sending all my love to you. It was a slow flow kind of day for me, so I don't even know if you can call that a flow, but it was slow. And again, holy brightness. And again, I'll place on your members platform last week's practice, which was way more active than this one, and this one. And you can decide which one suits your energy when you want it. Okay? Okay. I will talk to you all soon. Bye.